We got some more portal movement at the quarterback position. Jackson Arnold is going to be the next quarterback, potentially now in Auburn, Alabama. He's committed to the Tigers. What does this mean for Hugh Freeze? What does it mean for Jackson Arnold? And do we like the fit? A lot of takes on Jackson Arnold and his potential of what he's going to be as a college quarterback. We'll unpack that all right now. Make sure you are subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. College football, nothing but college football year-round. If you're an Auburn Tiger fan, we've had a lot of y'all subscribe to the channel this year. But if you haven't yet, no time like the present. Get dialed in. We appreciate you in advance for that. So let's start here, man. I like the fit. I understand Mississippi State was in the sweepstakes there for a minute, but I like the fit with Jackson Arnold in the Hugh Freeze system. A couple of reasons why. Hugh Freeze has shown that he does his best with a mobile quarterback. Now, Jackson Arnold, he's not Michael Vick. He's not Cam Newton, but I think you saw in that game against Alabama, he had over 100 yards rushing. You know, not a bad thing to put on tape when it comes to how Hugh Freeze wants to run his offense. The other part of this, in the RPO system, what does it take to be successful? One, you got to see the field. I imagine that Hugh Freeze and Jackson Arnold will have a fair amount of time together during the spring to have him all the way dialed into the scheme. But as importantly, you have to have a quick release. And that was one of the things that we loved about Jackson Arnold when he came out of high school as a 5-star plus kind of prospect. And a lot of folks are going to say, at 5-star plus, why are you talking about his rating as a high schooler, man? Like, this guy is trying to figure it out in college. I don't know if he actually is a 5-star. And I hear where you're coming from. I understand the pushback because his 1 year at Oklahoma wasn't everything that you would have hoped it would be when he came out of high school as a 5-star prospect. But, like, let's just take a look at just the things around Jackson Arnold as to why he didn't have success at Oklahoma. Like, he replaced his entire offensive line at Oklahoma when he became the guy, or he had his entire offensive line replaced, I should say, when he became the guy at Oklahoma. It's not necessarily a recipe for success in the SEC with the most vicious defensive line play in that conference out of anywhere else in college football. So there's that part of it. The strong point of the Oklahoma offense was supposed to be the wide receiver position. Every single week, you check the injury report that would come out on Wednesdays, and it's like, hey, bad news, Oklahoma has 11 wide receivers that aren't going to play this week. And it's like, dude, how are you supposed to win when your wide receiver room is dinged up? You have a whole new offensive line. And oh, by the way, you got 2 new offensive coordinators throughout the course of one season. That's not a recipe for success. So does Jackson Arnold have some blame in all that? Of course, 100% he does. Some poor decisions, some turnovers that are absolutely on him that are, independent of anything else on that offense. But, I don't think we should just pretend that we know who Jackson Arnold is based off of one subpar year in Norman, Oklahoma. It's also worth noting now, speaking of weapons, Cam Coleman exists. He's going to be out there at Auburn. I think the roster itself is built out a little bit more around him to have success. So we talk about Jackson Arnold and how he projects in the future. I'm not selling my stock just yet. I don't think you should either. Speaking to what it takes to be successful, I think we talk about the physical tools. I'm looking at the mental makeup for Jackson Arnold. Like, when he got benched as the guy against Tennessee when Oklahoma was playing them early on in the year. It's a primetime game. I believe College Game Day was there, and all the hype is around what Jackson Arnold was going to be and where he's going to take the Sooners as the next great 5-star quarterback, the next guy in Norman, and he gets benched. It would have been very understandable for Jackson Arnold to then go and pout and get in his feelings and be a bad teammate. One, I didn't see any of that. Two, when they called upon him later in the year, it would have been very easy for Jackson Arnold to say, man, forget y'all. Y'all benched me, and have just this fragile competitive psyche. I didn't see that. I saw Jackson Arnold bounce back in a massive way, go beat Alabama, a game in which he had a massive impact on the ground. Like, I think Jackson Arnold just put a bow on this thing. I think he's made of the right stuff. And to be made of the right stuff is a lot more difficult to have internally than it is to be able to throw the slant route on time or to be able to read a defense. Like, a lot of dudes can do that. Not everyone can bounce back after being benched in a very public manner the way that Jackson Arnold was. So all that's to say, I want to sell my stock. I'm excited to see what he does at Auburn. If Hugh Freeze has a quarterback now, big if he has a quarterback now that can run his offense to a T, we've seen Auburn have success. One more thing I'll say, Auburn's not that far off. A lot of people like to make jokes about, the turnovers and the games that they lost they weren't supposed to lose. Like, Auburn was still, for the majority of this year, top 30 in America when it comes to yards per play. The game against A&M where it all came together and they scored over 40, like that should, I think, maybe be factored in to the way that Auburn's going to trend and progress. Just because we haven't seen the fruits of their labor just yet out there at Auburn under Hugh Freeze and that staff doesn't mean they haven't been doing the right things and they won't still have success here into this upcoming season. And it looks like now, again, still has to win the job, totally true, but we can all put 2 and 2 together and assume that Jackson Arnold now will be the guy at the helm for Auburn here moving forward. And I can't wait to watch it. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you are all the way dialed into everything we got going on right here on the On3 YouTube channel. The portal's going crazy. Recruiting never stops. The college football playoff is going to be tremendous. Want y'all dialed into the nth degree. We appreciate you in advance for that. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.